My name is Sam Hammond. I'm the president of the Elementary Teachers Federation of Ontario.
And where are you from, Sam?
I'm originally from Hamilton, now reside in Toronto as president.
What are the issues that you see for teachers in this election year in Ontario?
For our members, our 76,000 members across the province, first and foremost issue is class sizes for grades 4 through 8. We're also looking at class sizes for junior, senior kindergarten or the early learning program. And very closely tied with that are all of the diagnostic testing initiatives that our members are absolutely overwhelmed with. So those two are key, and we have some salary issues that we have to deal with as we move forward as well.
Let's talk about class size first. What's the present reality, and what would teachers like?
The present reality is from grades 1, 2, and 3 anyway, there's a cap of 20, but in grades 4 through 8, there's no cap. There's an average class size, and that average class size is greater for those classes, for example, than it is in secondary school. And even with an average class size, we have intermediate classes that have 30, 35 or more students, and that's just not helping anyone, not students or teachers. So we'd like to see that move down at least to the same class size average as you'd find in secondary school.
What's the impact on kids being in such large classes?
Well, the impact on kids is that obviously there are, let's say, 5 to 10 more students in each of those classes. That's less individual quality time with the teacher in that classroom, and bigger class sizes, and less time with resource teachers as well, because those are few and far between as well.
Tell us about your concerns about testing. It's driving teachers crazy, you say.
Yeah. The testing that our teachers are most concerned about at the moment is the in-class diagnostic testing that boards are forcing on our teachers to test individual students in an array of different subject areas. And they're doing that testing 3, 4, 5 times a year. And it's taking teachers over the course of the year about 5 instructional days when they could be teaching to actually be implementing that testing, which they could do a much better job of using their own professional judgment when and how they should be doing that testing and how it should fit into their program.
Plus, I imagine it impacts on the kind of teaching they do.
Yeah, absolutely. You start to teach to, if you will, those tests and those diagnostic tests, or teaching to the EQAO testing in grade 3 and grade 6, and it becomes much more focused on numeracy and literacy rather than a broad scope of the curriculum.
Where is the pressure for that coming from?
The pressure for the testing regime, there's no doubt it's coming from the provincial government, but over and above that, boards have rightly or wrongly gotten on track with that testing regime and started to initiate and implement a large number of diagnostic tests that really have nothing to do with the EQAO testing. So it's coming from a number of different fronts, and then on the ground level, it's administrators who are trying to in their eyes, do the best job they can, and that includes them implementing more testing.
How do you get the public to support your position when the public is so concerned about educational achievement?
Well, I think there's two things that we need to do is to show them the benefits, first of all, of smaller class sizes, whatever that number might be, and how those smaller class sizes benefit their children in those classrooms over the long term. And the testing part of it is what we have to do is show how the testing that's happening in the classrooms could be very well done by our teachers based on their professional development, and to show that it isn't tied to that provincial accountability model.
Are you planning outreach campaigns around those ideas?
We're working on a few strategies and a few campaigns that will should unveil over the next few months. Yeah.
And of course, there's an election coming in not too many months from now. How will the Elementary Teachers Federation be involved in that?
We can't avoid it. We live in Ontario. We work in Ontario. All of the funding for education comes from the provincial government. So we will be at the forefront of demanding that the schools are better. We have better quality schools. We have a document out building better schools that talks about the kinds of positive things that education continues to need. And we will be asking our members, and our members will no doubt step up to the challenge to help us elect an education-friendly government and an education-friendly legislature.
Anything you would like to add that Canadians should know?
No.
Okay, thank you very much, Sam Hammond.
Pleasure.